Hey guys, this is Edith from the Completely Dressed Anachronist. I'm here in my remodeled craft room. I'm hoping that I can find a good spot in here for doing videos. This probably isn't going to be it, but I figured I have this new space, might as well do a video in here. Today I wanted to show you a head wrap tutorial. It starts off the same as the other veil tutorial I've done in the past with the fold in it, but we're going to take it further from there and make it into more of a head wrap turban kind of thing. I did see this style in a picture that I saw on Pinterest, and I love the picture. I don't really even know where it came from, and I don't know who the woman in it is in it, but I love the headdress that she's wearing, and I wanted to try to recreate that without really having any idea of how to get a hold of that woman. So that's what I wanted to show you today. It'll work for 15th century. Usually, lower class style would be the best. Use German style. You could even do it in 13th or 14th century, depending on what it was you were doing. But it really is more of a practical, working class kind of headdress, as you'll see. So to start, well, first of all, we need to get our hair back. If you've got short hair, you probably won't need to worry about that very much with this one. If you've got longer hair, just make sure that you've got it back into a loose bun in the back, not too high, doesn't have to be too low. As you kind of play around with the veil, it should loosen up a little bit and kind of fill out the back of it. That's kind of what you want to aim for, so don't make it too tight. You'll need a rectangle veil, so I've got my standard rectangle veil. It could be a little smaller, but not really that much smaller, and I'll put the measurements up with this one when I put this one online. So we're going to put this on with the long end of the rectangle as our front end, so that we don't have that much length in the back, because we've got to get everything kind of tucked up and put where it belongs. So we don't want to have an awful lot of fabric to do that with. So we're just going to start off same way as that other veil. We're going to put it on and make it tight around our head and pin it together in the back of our head, just using a regular straight pin. I like to use the regular, so we get it in front of me there, the regular ball-headed straight pins, because they're easier to grab when they're back in the back of your head. Remember that when you're pinning in the back of your head, you want down here in the neck, you want to pin upward, so that if you put your head back, you're not poking yourself in the neck. So that's the first part's done. Second part is we're going to pull this up to create a fold. And in the other veil tutorial, we basically just take this and pin it into place here and here. Well, we're going to do a little something different this time, and we want to make sure that we make that as neat as possible. Somewhere around in this area on one side, you're going to kind of get it all bunched up. You want to kind of get it nice and flat and even all the way down. So you might have to sort of finesse it a bit. So you want to kind of have a nice crease there as far down as you can really get it. So once you get that, make sure there aren't any creases or anything in the top, and you're going to come down right around the ears, right sort of where your ears intersect. Bring it back down, and you're going to do the same thing you just did. So you're going to fold it in the back. You don't want to make it too awfully tight, but you do need it tight in order for the rest of this to work. So it doesn't have to be as tight as the first one, but you shouldn't make it loose. So we're just going to pin that into place, and now we've got 2 pins in the back of the neck. Now, if you really were feeling spunky, you could attempt to use the same pin for both. I don't think that's necessary. It's more work than it's worth. All right, now we need to find the bottom corners at the bottom of the veil. Now, on one side or the other, depending on whether you're left-handed or right-handed, you're going to have a little bit of a different bulk. Because of the way that the veil crosses itself in the back of the head, one side ends up on top of the other one, and so one side is going to be a little different and bulkier in the back. You want to make sure, for me that's this side, you want to make sure that the piece that's coming from the pin here is not the piece that you're grabbing. You want this piece to be at the bottom, so that when you kind of do one of these things, you kind of can twist it up here like this. This is the actual true bottom of the veil. And you want to make sure that you kind of you want to make sure everything is up in there. So you created a pocket. So this piece right here is up against the neck, and then everything else is between that and the back of the veil. Okay, it doesn't have to be very high, it doesn't have to be very, you know, major. So about like that. For now, just kind of lay those two tentacles just in front of you. We've got to handle this. If we were to just start doing what we're going to do, we'd end up with some kind of weird triangular thing that we'd have to deal with later. We don't want to have to do that. So we're going to add some more pins to get that into place. So what we're going to do is kind of take where these sort of creases are, and we're going to flatten them down. We're going to take them right here behind the ear. And it's okay if they're kind of pointy. That's okay. That's part of the style. If it bothers you, just keep messing with it until they're flatter. So right here behind the ear. So another straight pin right there. Same thing on the other side. Try not to poke yourself in the head. Okay, so now we've got this all nice and neat up here, and that's what we're going for. Now, I've got to do something about these. From the back, start to fold the whole thing kind of in on itself forward. Not too tight up here, but okay, you know, fairly tight, just so you kind of control it. But you want to start, if you notice there's a bit that kind of sticks out here at the top. Start with that and work it down. And then once you get past this point here where you've kind of created now that pocket, you can start tightening it up a little bit tighter up here. Okay, now from about this point where it starts to come in, there's sort of the most bulk is sort of right in this area. Somewhere in there, you're going to flip it up on itself. A little further down, you're going to flip it up on itself, and you're going to tuck this up and in right into that pocket back there, and you'll kind of feel where it needs to go, because I know it's not there right now. Let's try that again. Up into that pocket, out of the way. Okay, but make sure, no, hang on, I got it out of control here. Start over. All right, fold it, tuck it back, up and in. All right, so we want to make sure that this isn't too wild here. So let's make sure that that's really tucked back up in there so you get more like that. So that the bottom is coming from the back and the top is tucking back down in. And now we're going to take this and tuck it up between the tight part and the fold. And you can pull that tight part down if it starts to slide up in there, okay? Once you get it up in there, and you're gonna feel it. It's gonna be kind of like a lock and load kind of thing. You're like, oh, I got it in there, it's good, I feel it. But just to make sure that it's all the way in where it needs to be, take your finger in between there and go like this. So you push that back down in. So now it's going like this. So now it's really locked in there, okay? And if you've got some of these weird things, just kind of tuck them in where they look nicer, okay? So we got kind of this like Princess Leia kind of coil thing going on here. And that's good, that's what we want, okay? Same thing with the other side. So now we get to repeat the whole process. So here's this top part here. I'm going to tuck it down, start twisting from there, twist it down tighter in here. From somewhere in that bulky area, twist it back, tuck this extra bit back up, see if I can kind of show you, back up inside the veil, so it kind of gets tucked back up and out of the way. Okay, so here we want to make sure we're getting this tucked up where it belongs. This part is a little tricky because it's on the other side of my head. So it's like, oh, I did the first one okay, I can't reverse my brain. All right, so now, same thing, we're going to put the top here, tuck that up between the fold and the tight part up against our forehead. Get it in there, make sure that's tucked down. Now tuck it, tuck it back up and in. All right. So there we go. Voila, just like that. So you can see in the back, everything's kind of tucked up, hair's all in there. If I had a really hard bun back there, it would kind of stick out, and that's not what we want. So make sure that that bun's not too tight. I do kind of feel the pins back there, so just kind of keep an eye out for that. Sometimes the pins kind of like to work their way out this way as you're twisting and pulling things up. So just kind of keep that in mind and be careful back there. Now you could try to do this without the pins, but I tried that the first time and it just got really out of control. Having those two pins right there back behind the ear really made a difference, because it got everything kind of nice and neat up here. I say that and I still got a little bump here, but sorry. But otherwise it was all over the place and really messy. So I do highly recommend that you do use those two pins there. So 4 pins and a rectangle veil, and you've got a lovely twisted head wrap that is, I think, lovely. I think that this fold really adds a lot to it, and it's just a very nice lightweight headdress style. And you know, we love headdress, right? We want to wear more. So I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial on how to do this turban head wrap kind of thing, and I hope that that you wear it. Thanks for watching.